Hello and welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute-a-day podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse, recorded here in the dining room of the Bible Bistro, located in Sharonville, Ohio. Hey there friends, welcome back to Organic Bible Study here in the Bible Bistro. This is Daily Dose Radio. And today on Daily Dose Radio, we are studying Psalm 7, today verses 3 and 4. We're going to get a little bit further into the psalm today. Yesterday we had the opening, the introduction, the Shiggaion of David. He sang it to the Lord concerning the words of Cush the Benjamite, and I identified Cush the Benjamite for our terms as Cushi. He was the young man that ran from the battle with Absalom to deliver the news to David. So David hears that. He goes and he writes this psalm for us, Psalm 7. And it's out of his grief and out of his contrition that he writes it. Today, we're going to delve into some more of David's soul here. Listen to these words in verses 3 and 4. O Lord my God, if I have done this, if there is iniquity in my hands, if I have repaid evil to he who has a covenant of peace with me, or I have delivered those who vexed me in vain. Notice the language here. O Lord my God. He began that way in verse 1. He has it again here in verse 3. He's still crying out from the depths of a wounded soul, isn't he? O Lord my God, if I have done this. What's the this? What this is he talking about? He just received news that his son had died. Another possibility, actually, I forgot to mention this yesterday, for Cush, the Benjamite, is Shimei, who's also a Benjamite, and he's the one that cursed David as he left Jerusalem when Absalom was approaching. You'll remember him because he was the one that was throwing rocks at David and casting dust into the air to cover David, and he was cursing him, and he was saying things like, come out, you bloody man. Yeah, so it could be that all that Shimei said is what we're thinking of here. Again, I still like Cushi better, but again, we have this question, if I have done this, what has he done? And why is he examining himself in this way? If there is iniquity on my hands, if I have repaid evil to he who has a covenant of peace with me, or delivered those who vexed me in vain. So David's still trying to figure out what the this is. What have I done to make this happen? Well, I mean, it's easy for us, isn't it? Because we can, with 20/20 vision, look back at the text, and if David were here, we could tell him what he's done. You know, how he misled and misparented his children. The whole thing with his daughter, Tamar, and with Absalom, and with the son who committed the rape, and all of that was wrong. But where did that begin? Well, that began way back when David took another man's wife, had him killed, and then tried to cover it up with marriage. All of it goes right back to that root in David. And it even goes further back than that, because David had taken multiple wives, which was never the Lord's plan. If he had been satisfied with one wife, none of this would have happened. But he wasn't. He thought he was big enough man to have multiple wives, and of course he's the king of Israel now, so why not think that way? So if I have done this is really sort of a false question. We don't want to actually, when we say that to ourselves, if I have done this, what we're saying is, you know, I probably did this, but I want you to tell me I've done this, instead of me having to judge myself. So David is in a very difficult place here. His grief is trying to come out, and he's trying to deal with the sin that's in his heart. And so he says, if there's iniquity in my hands, if I have repaid evil to those who have a covenant of peace with me. So you see, he says, if I have done evil to the one who is at peace with me, we know that would be wrong. And then the reverse of that is in the parallel in verse 4b, or I have delivered those who vexed me in vain. So he either did evil to those who were at peace with him, or he did good to those who were at war with him. Either one, he says, would be wrong, especially in this situation, now that I find myself here, perhaps I delivered the one who is, vexing me in vain, and I let them go. I didn't, deal with them properly, and so now here's this situation, which is, of course, what happened, because he let Absalom go for killing his brother. He made peace with him. He should have disciplined the boy, but he didn't. All right, well, we'll pick up right there tomorrow, and we'll look at verses 5 and 6 here on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. For more fresh and delicious Bible studies, podcasts, books, and more, check out the Bible Bistro online and on YouTube. Join me again next time for Daily Dose Radio.